Hi there, folks. My name's NovaWrap24, and welcome to another episode of the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday, the 16th of September 2018, for another exciting episode, and we're going to jump straight into it with the guys over at A2A Simulations releasing their long-awaited and much talked about AccuSim representation of the Bonanza, specifically the V-tailed Bonanza. Now, this is an aircraft that I've been following personally for a little bit because I have fond memories of V-tail Bonanzas and my dad flying one of these. So it's been so I've been keeping an eye on this one. So I'm really excited to see this one come over to the ESP platform world. Now, of course, as always, A2A have delivered an absolutely stunning rendition of this aircraft with an absolutely beautiful 3D model both internally and externally. And of course, as the title suggests, it is fully compatible with all the AccuSim features and amazing things that come with that. So it comes through with their actual recreation of the engine dynamics, and of course you do get two different engine choices with this one as well. You get either the 285 horsepower or 300 horsepower Continental engines. You've got the visual real-time load manager. You've got the full maintenance hangar that we usually see with AccuSim aircraft to be able to rework and do various internal system options and testings abilities for the engines and other systems. They've got, of course, the interactive pre-flight inspection tutorial and systems as well. You had to go through and actually get that feel of actually using the real aircraft. And again, of course, but this aircraft predates all this glass cockpit nonsense. So this is all steam-driven gauges. And now what's interesting is that they've actually revamped the physics that they actually use those steam gauges with. So you get more of that vibration. You actually sort of implement and how that affects the gauges, and also some of the idiosyncrasies that you see with some of those old equipments as well. It again also does many of the A2A products do. They sort of actual models, the actual the combustion model for the engines as well, and the different sizes of the engines will actually change how that works. Actual avionics has designed, again, as I said, all steam gauges. But they do have an option for using some of the more basic GPS services, including an option for a 295 and a 400 as well. There is also support for third-party avionics. It doesn't specify which ones are supported, but apparently some of them are. I'm guessing probably some of the Reality XP content would probably be supported for this one. It goes through, as I said, there's a whole slew of features and options here. I'm not going to go through to them in too much detail here. Basically, just know that this is the most accurate, pretty much the most accurate possible rendition of a Bonanza in the ESP platform world. Now, speaking of the ESP platform, so this one's a little bit interesting. And again, this is where I have mixed feelings about the way A2A is actually approaching this in the last sort of 6 months or so. So this one is available for both FSX and prepared V4 only. So I've got mixed feelings about that last part for a start. If you can make it compatible with FSX, then you can make it compatible with prepared versions 1, 2, and 3. There is no reason why it can't, because you can bastardize something straight from FSX, really easy. You can bastardize something almost straight from FS9 and drop it into prepared 1, 2, and 3. So to make it only available to prepared V4, I think is doing the community a disservice, if I'm honest, especially considering the price tags. So alluding to that, you've got a couple of options here. If you are still an FSX pilot, don't worry, you can pick this one up. So this one is $50 for that one. If you are a prepared V4 user and you use the academic version, you've got it for $50 as well. If you are a prepared V4 professional user, then you're looking at $80. Now, if you are a split sim person or maybe someone who wants to sort of look at doing prepared later on, or still every now and again wants to prepared user who wants to prepared V4 user and wants to do a flight back in FSX every now and again, then you can pick up a bundle deal where you get both the FSX license and the prepared V4 license as one. Now, depending, of course, which prepared V4 license you get, whether it's the academic or professional, will depend on the price tag. Now, as I said, theoretically, what you pretty much could do is you could buy I'm assuming you could probably buy the FSX one and then just sort of, there are ways to sort of convince it to put it into prepared V3. Or V2 if you have those ones. But yeah, just a little disappointing, that one. I mean, how they could just simply have done the prepared V4 version and a FSX and prepared V1, 2, and 3 version. Like, there's no real skin off the nose there to do that one. I really don't think that would have been too much of a problem. The only real differences prepared that seem to be there between the FSX and prepared V4 version is that the prepared V4 version has higher textures and also supports pure 3D instrumentation with a natural 3D appearance and better texture and better performance, less of an impact on your frame rates. And also includes better lighting effects included for the V4 version, which takes advantage of the dynamic lighting that's part of V4. Otherwise, they seem pretty much similar. And as I said before, like A2A products are just absolutely outstanding in terms of their flight dynamics and realism. So you really can't go wrong with one of these products if you love your GA. If you are wanting to pick these ones up, this is available now from the A2A Simulations web store. Available now. And the other major ESP aircraft release for this week, Aerosoft have finally brought forward their A320, A321 professional version for prepared V4. So this has been awaited for a while. So we saw, of course, about a month or so ago, we saw was it a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, we saw they released the first sort of part of their Aerosoft Airbus sort of professional series with the A318, A319. They've now completed their short Airbus collection with the release of the A3 2021. Now, again, I'm not going to go into this for too detailed because if you are a fan of this one, then probably you already know all about it. But yeah, it comes through with a beautiful, highly updated. This is again, as I said before, this is a reboot of the previous A320, A321X, which has been around before. With a professional tag from Aerosoft simply means that it's a prepared V4 exclusive. Now, it's done a few updates. Most of the V4 exclusive updates essentially are the real light from the license from TFDI Design. You also got that True Glass, also from TFDI Design, dynamic lighting, updated textures, and some updated models services. A lot of updated avionics as well, and a full intercourse support with NovaWrap data, and of course, for those who PMDG fanboys, is also a tier 1 product for PMDG global flight operations, whatever that nonsense is. Anyway, so it comes through, as I said, I'm not going to go again through details. A lot of support through there for stuff as well, but very interesting, very well done. Now, for those who might be wondering, the connected flight deck V2 is still not available. That is still planned for rolled out for the Service Pack 1 for the Airbus Professional Series, which is due later this year. So you still don't have connected flight deck V2 at this time. There is an updated feature list of what's included, what's not available in the initial release over at the Aerosoft forums, if you do want to check that out. And finally, of course, if you do want to pick this one up as a bundle, or if you picked up the Aerosoft Airbus Professional Bundle when the A318-19 first came up, you can now access the 2021. So if you're buying this standalone, you're looking at $61 US. There is an upgrade service if you are a previous owner of the Airbus Professional X version, then you're looking at an upgrade price of around about $40 to be able to do the upgrade to the Professional Series. And yeah, as I said, that's pretty much it. I'm not a fan of the tube liners, but you know, if you're a fan of the Airbuses, this is probably going to be one that you've already grabbed. If not, yeah, probably want to check it out. Just a reminder that it is exclusive to Prepare V4. In fact, actually, this one is a V4.3 exclusive, so you must be fully updated with the latest version of Prepared V4 to be able to use it. If you do want to pick this one up, available now from the Aerosoft web store. In other ESP platform releases, the guys over at Golden Age Simulations have brought another classic aircraft to the ESP platforms with their rendition of the Boeing Stearman. So the Boeing Stearman, or the Stearman Model 75. So Stearman was a company, and then Boeing became a subsidiary of Boeing in the 1930s. Now, this aircraft has become absolutely synonymous with both Second World War aviation and immediate post-war aviation. It was designed as a basic trainer for the U.S. Army Air Corps and for the U.S. Navy, and was designed to take pilots from knowing nothing about an aircraft to being able to fly combat aircraft in the Second World War. So accordingly, there were quite literally like thousands of these things. There was over 10,000 of them built, and to serve both with the U.S. forces and with the Canadians as well, to train all these pilots. And the immediate ends of the post-war war, it was actually sort of distributed into, became very common sights in the skies over the North America in civilian hands, whether they be used as part of crop dusting operations or simple joy flight operations, and some of them still soldier on today. Of course, me personally, I have some wonderful memories of flying this thing in Microsoft Flight. Like, absolutely love the rendition, the Stearman that was in that. So it's great to see the guys over at Golden Age have once again brought this classic aircraft to life. So this come through with one of their highly accurate, fully animated 3D models. Now this protects both the US Army Air Corps version and the US Navy version. You get full 4K textures are included with this one. You get you get two different engine options with this one, both a Continental and a Lycoming engine option. Fully animated virtual cockpit as well as a custom sound package for both not only the engine but also the cockpit as well. So looking pretty damn amazing. And again, like the guys over at Golden Age always do, they brought this one out as a fully compatible with all ESP platforms, including FSX Steam Edition and prepared versions 1 through 4. This one's available now from your favorite flight simulation web store. Available now for around about $25 or your original equivalent. Available now. In other ESP platform releases this week, well, actually, no, Prepared V4 exclusive releases this week. So the guys over at Army Project have continued to have started rebooting a lot of their content and bringing it over to Prepared V4. So they've done two projects this week. So the first one they did was Tehran's Imam Khomeini's International Airport, which is the primary international airport for Iran, located in its capital, Tehran. And of course, being the primary airport of Iran, it is pretty much home to all of the major Iranian airports. This is going to be interesting because I've got a couple of problems with this. Look, they've rebooted it, but they've just done it as a pure reboot. Like, they haven't actually updated it. So this is how the airport still appears around about 2016. So they haven't updated it. They've just simply redone it for the Prepared V4 SDK. They still have got static jetways. They've got the same basic models they've done. They haven't updated anything. They've just simply ported it over to Prepared V4. So this was a chance to update it. They didn't. And then the other problem I have with this is the fact that this is a straight rebuy. There is no reduced cost to upgrade if you're a previous owner of their FSX or FS9 version. You have to rebuy this product, so it's complete brand new. Now, admittedly, the price isn't that bad. It's only about $15, so it's not too bad a price, but still, it's a problem of not being able to sort of operate an upgrade path. So other than this, I said they did also operate the option. The guys over at Army did also update their version of Muscat International Airport as well. So Muscat being the primary international airport over in Oman. So again, like Army Project they do a lot of content which is sort of out of the way, a little odd, little different, little hard to find, as it were, from other production houses. But again, as I said, this is a reboot. It's still how it appears in 2016, 2017. They haven't updated it. They haven't improved it. It's just simply a straight port across to Prepared V4. And again, same price, $15, but again, no option for you to an upgrade price discount if you are a previous owner. So if you are wanting to pick this one up, and again, it's one of those things we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here, because the fact is, the modeling is decent. It looks pretty good. The ground texturing is a bit hit and miss. The modeling of the actual terminal buildings are okay, pretty good, but also there is nothing else in this part of the world. So you're kind of stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place here. But either way, if you want to grab this one up and give yourself somewhere different to fly to, both of these are available now from Sim Market. Available now. And the other Prepared V4 exclusive scenery released this week, the guys over at MK Studios have produced their rendition of Lisbon Airport. So, also officially known as Humberto Delgado Airport, but more correctly known just simply as Lisbon. Then this is a primary hub in Portugal, sort of servicing obviously the capital of Portugal, but also providing a major European gateway to Brazil and to Northern Africa. So, of course, Brazil being very previously a Portuguese colony, is sort of a rather important place for it to go to. It's sort of again, but it also serves as a European hub to go to much of Africa as well. So this one comes as a highly detailed rendition of this airport as it appears at the start of 2018, fully updated with the latest terminals, a full interior modeling of the terminal as well, with animated people, as well as full animated SOD jetways and double jetways for the A380 users, SOD windsocks, full ground poly and ground photoreal based off actual latest up-to-date photo imagery. Full up-to-date ground layout, as I said, for the start of 2018. Full use of implementation of dynamic lighting effects have been included as well, as well as a fully optimized for the use of GSX-based docking systems, as well as runway lighting and full interactive hold points that change color as you're approaching them as well, which is also a really cool little thing to implementate for this as well. The other thing that I like about what MK Studios have done as well is not only have they done the airport, they've also done the city of Lisbon as well, a large part of the city of Lisbon as well. So they've included that with 50 centimeter per pixel satellite imagery for the city, as well as custom autogen, as well as custom 3D modeling for major landmarks in the city as well, including major clock towers and parts of the port have been included as well. So full rendition of the 3D lighting in the city as well has also been included, as well as night lighting for the airport. So you get a lot of bang for your buck with this airport as well. So MK Studios has done a pretty good rendition this time. As I said, this one's available now either direct from the MK Studios website or from your favorite flight sim web store, coming in around about $30 or your regional equivalent available now. And another scenario release for the ESP platforms, but this time, of course, for all ESP platforms. The guys over at Orbix have returned back to the land of the long white cloud. They are in New Zealand with the release of their rendition of Gisborne Airport. So, Gisborne Airport is something that a lot of people back in FSX when it came out, people would go to this airport and say, Microsoft, you got this wrong. They've got a train line running through the airport. No, that's real. There is a train line that goes through the main runway. Not going to lie. Look it up on Wikipedia or look it up on the satellite imagery if you don't believe me. So the guys over at Orbix have actually come by and they've actually sort of done their rendition of it, which includes an animated steam train which actually goes through the runway. Seriously, that's just cool. Like, it's completely, like, not only do they have, like, Elwix have always been known for doing the animated people and sort of, people flow and animal flow, sort of creature flow to actually sort of bring their airports to life. Doing that with a train was just, like, brilliant, guys. Just absolutely awesome. So yes, anyway, other news, so the Gisborne is sort of like a, fairly is this sort of domestic airport. Fairly busy with Air New Zealand and Sun Air both operating out of here. Now, not only do they include the airport, which is as it appears at the start of 2018, it also includes more of the Orbix's cityscape technology, where they've actually done the city of Gisborne as well. So not only do you get that, again, you get the surrounding area, as well as you also get the Young Nick's Head Mountain included as well. So there'll be a lot. This looks like there's going to be a lot here. Not only for GA flyers or sort of regional turboprop flyers, but also it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff here for helicopter pilots as well. So hopefully we're going to have a chance to look at this soon as well. So as I said, this one's coming in for all of the ESP platforms available now. You do require to have Orbix's New Zealand North Island as well to make full use of this one, full integration of this one. This one's coming in at $24 or your regional equivalent available now from the Orbix Direct website. And moving out of the ESP platforms and moving into the world of X-Plane with the guys over V-Flight Simulations releasing their rendition of the Ikarus C-42C light sport aircraft this week. So the Ikarus C-42C is basically it's a two-seat aircraft. It is already available for the ESP platforms from the guys over at Sim720. So it's interesting to see if the guys over at V-Flight bringing it to X-Plane, and it looks like they've done an incredibly detailed job for this one. Basically, Ikarus is the ultralight light sport aircraft category. Aircraft powered by a Rotax 912 engine of very basic sort of metal tube and fabric construction, and designed to sort of be able to operate just as both as a basic trainer and as a light sport aircraft. So it's a fairly basic aircraft, but something that's also within reach of real people a lot of the time to be able to access. Now, this one is actually designed off so one of the actual developers is actually learning to fly in the actual aircraft that's actually depicted here. So you can be assured the developers really did have a lot of hands-on time time with this one. Now, so they've actually, as I said, they've to credit from hands-on operating experience with the aircraft. They've made it fully VR compatible. They offer two different panels, including the basic trainer version and the instrument flight version as well, the full panel version. So it's a pretty cool, pretty detailed one here. They've got a whole slew of accurate flight dynamics have been modeled here based on the actual, as I said, actual flight experience from flight training. They've done through with a lot of visual effects and animated model effects, including the full implementation of the PBR effects, HDR lighting have been included, as well as a lot of dynamics and animated virtual pre-flight inspection system has been implemented as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. They've also made full use of over 85 original custom sound recordings from an actual C-42 as well. So there's a lot of detail coming through here. There's another interesting thing here that I like here as well. So one of the things that you hear about every now and again with light aircraft is things called ballistic parachutes. Basically, it's a safety thing where if you get in trouble, you can essentially pull a handle and you actually float down on a parachute. It was, of course, that infamous incident over in the Pacific off the coast of California a few years ago, where a guy had to ditch his light aircraft by pulling the parachute handle. They've actually done that they've fully modeled the ballistic parachute here, including the actual deployment sounds and systems of the actual rocket firing to open up the parachute. So lot of detail in here, just looking absolutely cool. I'm really impressed with the detail and the quality of the feature list here from V-Flight. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like if we get a chance to see it in the air as well. If you ever wanted to pick this one up, this one's available now from the V-Flight web store directly or from your favorite flight sim retailer, coming in at $28 US, or your regional equivalent, available now. In another X-Plane 11 release for this week, the guys over at V-Sky Labs have released their long-awaited Cabri G2 project. Now, this is the first time that the guys at V-Sky Labs have ever developed a helicopter, I believe. They've done an autogyro before, but not a helicopter. Now, this is a very interesting choice of helicopters as well, and one that in many ways to me kind of makes sense. So the V-Sky Labs are known for doing very highly detailed content and working within the confines of X-Planes. So they don't. Many other developers use, and some of the X-Plane 11 reviews that viewers of my channel might have seen. Other developers make use of plugins, whether they be free or paid or whatever, from other developers to sort of do things that maybe X-Plane can't. Whereas V-Sky Labs have this development philosophy where they actually do everything within the bounds of what X-Plane 11 can do, which I actually think is a really good way of doing things. It has its limitations, of course, but it's a good way of making sure that your products get to market cleanly and minimizes bugs. But it also means that is that they're that sometimes their stuff can be sort of hit and miss. But I think from talking to other from some of the reviews and reading some of the comments and so on, this one looks like it's done pretty well. So the Cabri project is a very interesting little helicopter. It's designed as a training helicopter and as a sort of a light, relatively easy to fly and user-friendly helicopter. It uses a piston engine with a Fenstrom rotor, tail rotor, and it's designed to be a very safe helicopter. So its design is with its monocoque sort of egg-shaped design. It's designed to maximize safety with aerodynamic capabilities as well. So this has been done through designed to off a real specifications of the actual helicopter and going through, and it's actually modeled off an actual Canadian operation. Interestingly enough, there is sort of they actually pay special homage to the company that they worked with to actually bring this one to life. And there's a lot of, it's the company, so BC Helicopters, who actually use this as one of their training helicopters. So they've got a lot of YouTube tutorial stuff as well. So a lot of information out there for you to be able to develop, but develop a product for, and of course as a user to be able to learn to fly as well. The model is a very highly detailed 3D model, both internally and externally. Has a slew of options available for you for the internal avionics as well. It comes through, and the flight dynamics are mixed, is what it is. But again, it's supposed to be the idea that it is a safe helicopter to fly. So it's a fairly docile helicopter. So it's not perhaps as twitchy as some people maybe like to have had it, but otherwise it does look really, really good. Otherwise, as I said, it comes through a slew of model systems, both basic ones and fairly advanced glass cockpit options as well, and is fully compatible with VR and with the AV Tab plugin. So that's one of those things that I think, although as I said, that they designed to make it work with only native XP stuff, they do pay homage to the guys over at AV Tab and the great product that they produce. So I guess looking pretty good, pretty interesting. There is a really awesome review of this product, a really detailed review of this product available over at helisimmer.com. And otherwise, my good friend Bell Geode will be releasing a first impressions video of this one in the near future as well. So keep an eye out on his channel for that one soon. If you are wanting to pick this one up, this one is available from V-Sky Labs directly or available from your favorite flight sim retailer, available for $29 or your original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases this week, the guys over at Virtual Design have come out with their rendition of Alicante Airport and Port. So this is a beautiful Spanish city, a big Spanish holiday destination, but also an important place for the departures and entry and exit of a lot of cruisers. They cruise through the Mediterranean. So this the airport itself is how it appears again at the start of 2018, with over the fully rendition and fully detailed of the airport and all its terminal buildings, full detailed modelling interior and externally of the main terminal, full use of PBR and HDR lighting and texture effects, with over 200 buildings of the airport and surrounding areas are fully included. Includes custom animated jetways, full dynamic lighting, as I said before, with custom runways and taxiways, as well as custom mesh for the airport and fully compatible with Ultra HD Spain. As I said, also it does include animated walking people, animated passengers boarding aircraft, so take that GSX Level 2. You also have animated helicopters for the Spanish police. This sounds rather interesting. Fully compatible with World Traffic 3 as well as custom static objects and custom custom airport traffic models included as well. Now, the Alicante port, so expanding, of course, your experience, especially for low and slow files and helicopter pilots, gives you over 100 customized buildings, as well as commercial boat traffic using the port, and as well as a vast swathe of the important hotels that service the cruise industry in the area as well. So again, a lot of bang for your buck in this scenery, looking fairly detailed and fairly good as well, for a really impressive price from the Virtual Design guys, coming in at $20 from your favorite flight sim retailer or over their website, available now. Moving out of the flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way this week, the guys over at Train Simulator released a couple of releases this week. So the first one they released was the Amtrak SDP40F locomotive. So this was a when Amtrak sort of picked up a lot of the contracts for doing sort of cross-country rail in the United States, they had a sudden urgent need to get a lot of very high-powered, high-speed diesel trains into operation very quickly. So what they did is they actually sort of went through and actually sort of took the famous SD40, which was their freight service, freight train, and actually sort of basically went, well, we need this to pull a passenger car, so let's make a few modifications to that, be able to get it on out the door and online as soon as possible. So it was rated to over 3,000 horsepower, with a two-cycle V16 engine plant coming through here, with a six-axle. So it was a six-axle passenger diesel train, and it was considered to be an insanely heavy but insanely powerful car train, with coming in at over 400,000 pounds. So it would actually go on to serve. So the first one rolled out of the factory in June 1973, and they would continue producing. Over 100 of these by the time production ended in 1975. However, it was tarnished with several high-profile derailments during the mid-1970s, which would mean that its service would be short-lived and actually would only serve out into the mid-1980s. However, that time was, of course, a time of much change for Amtrak, and it would actually have all three of its early liveries, Phase 1, 2, and 3, would be shown across these trains throughout even though its short lifetime. So this DLC includes the train in all three of its liveries. It also includes some fairly iconic rolling stock as well. The El Capitan Super Chief and Texas Chief passenger rolling stock, made famous for their work in the Santa Fe service through across the southern parts of America. Now, this is not, as well as the train and the rolling stock, this also includes 4 career scenarios. Now, for make full use of the career scenarios, you do require the Donner Pass Southern Pacific route add-on to be available in your library to make full use of the scenarios. Otherwise, it is still fully compatible with Steam Workshop scenarios and Quick Drive compatible as well. So this one's coming in available at $20 US, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. In the other release for Train Simulator, we saw the release of the Norfolk Southern Coal District Scenario Pack. Funnily enough, that gives you the options of emulating some of the operations in the Norfolk Southern Coal District. Funnily enough, I think you spot that from the name. Anyway, so this gives you operations for both CSX and for Norfolk Southern Rail in part of the sort of their coal operations. Now, this gives you 10 challenging career scenarios that gives you a variety of trains to actually be part of, and actually goes through other parts that you may not have explored yet of the coal district route. Now, funnily enough, as you can probably guess from the name, you do require several pieces of DLC to make full use of this scenario, of these 10 scenarios. The primary one that you'll need across all of them is the Norfolk Southern. I really can't pronounce that today. It's shocking. Norfolk Southern Coal District route. You will also need to get all of the scenarios. You'll also need the additional add-ons of CSX SD80 Mac. You'll need the Norfolk Southern GP38-2 and the Norfolk Southern Heritage ES44ACs to get a full example of that. Now, these scenarios as they give you a wide choice and wide sets of challenges, whether it be taking coal on long hauls, whether it be shunting trains within the coal yards, and a whole heap of other things to go to as well. So there's a lot of history and a lot of interesting sort of history and different day-to-day operations that you can experience as part of this scenario pack. Usual scenario packs coming in at $10 US, from available now on Steam. And of course, though, folks, that does wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Just a bit of a note, there will be no NovaWrap next week. As I will be off competing in a Spartan race here in Michigan, as I'm currently traveling at the moment. So I will be off competing in that one, so there'll be no NovaWrap next week. I'm also going to be doing my best to do one the following week, but there may not be a one the following week either, simply due to some personal commitments that I have already pre-planned. So I will do my best to deliver the news, but it may or may not occur. But otherwise, keep tuned, of course, as always, on the Facebook page and on my Twitter for all of the other update news throughout the week. Alright, folks, thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.